How's it, guys? Let me tell you a quick story. Many years ago, when the PlayStation 3 came out, when I got the PlayStation 3, it was only for one game, and that was Metal Gear Solid 4. But the second game was for Red Dead Redemption, and I never got to finish the game. And I always kept my copy of Red Dead Redemption, as well as MGS4. And after some time, I bought another PlayStation 3, and that was the slim version or something like that. I can't really remember, but with the aim of completing Red Dead Redemption. And at the same time, I moved. And when I moved, I sorted out, the trash from what's going with me. And when I started to make my pile, the first thing that I put into the key pile was Red Dead Redemption. I still remember in all my games. But when I started it, I got confused with which pile is which pile. And I ended up throwing all my games away, all my PlayStation 3 games away. And I've always been bummed that I could never finish Red Dead Redemption. And since I'm a PC player, I'm never going to buy another PlayStation 3. So I thought that was it until now. And how I'm going to be completing this game is with a program called Xenia. Now Xenia is an emulator, and that's completely legal, as well as I'm on the Linus train since I have a legal copy of, or you can say had, but I still have it. It's just misplaced. But I have a legal copy of Red Dead Redemption. So this guide is for everyone that's got a legal copy for Red Dead Redemption, but can't play it anymore for whatever reason and wants to play it on their PC. So, first you'll need is Xenia. Now there are two versions of Xenia. Since most guides out there is for the old version of Xenia, I'm going to speak about both. So one is for any computer, but especially high-end computers, and the other one is for if you have a computer that's a little bit sluggish, a little bit potato-ish. Maybe some of these settings will help you as well. Okay, this will be the first link I'm going to give you will be just get the latest version of Canary Experimental. Just over here, click on this. So we'll download this. And the second version is for the not so powerful machines, and that will be, it'll be on page 7. So this is the same thing. If you just scroll all the way down, you'll see, pages, and you go to 5, and then the others should pop up, and then you go to page 7, and that'll be the second link. In all these links will be in the description below, and it'll be this one, the C5B4D1C Canary PR, right? Oh no, it's not. It'll be this one. Sorry, it'll be the E06978E Canary Experimental. You'll see it won't be this and it won't be this. So when you land on this page, it'll be closed off like this, right? So you'll just click on Assets and click on Xenia Canary. Also, you might get a false positive like I am getting. Don't worry. This is a safe file, so I'll just keep that. Remember, that was my first one, and that's my second one. Right, so you'll download this. These ones, as you can see there, it removes game patches, and all the ones after that, up till the latest one, removes the game patches. The patches is the thing that's going to help mid-range computers. Now, after you have those files, as you can see here, this is for high-end and this is for the mid-range. You'll need to just unzip these in any place on your computer, right? So I'm going to do that. Let's just make another window over here, go to games, scroll down to my mods, and just make this a little bit bigger. You see, I've already installed Xenia, alright? But I'll just make another one for this guide. Just call it Xenia 2. Let's call it that, right? And we'll open that up, and I'm making two folds. You don't have to make two folds unless you want to do a test and you don't know if your PC can actually handle the first version, which is the up-to-date version of Canary, or you want your mid-range. I don't know, I need to name it something. High-end Xenia and low-end Xenia. Let's just call it like that, right? So we'll call this high-end Xenia. And we'll make another folder called low-end Xenia. Low-end Xenia. Okay, so the high-end Xenia, all we'll do is copy the exe over to high-end. So I just clicked and dragged it over. And the low end has Xenia plus the patches. Remember, the high end got rid of the patches. So we'll just copy both over into the low end. And there it's copying over. So for both, so these are separate installs now, right? And we're going to need to do the same thing in both folders. So first thing we're going to do is first just start Xenia. And you'll see this pop up come here. It's just a black window, and we'll just close it again. Once you close it, it'll create files within that folder. So we'll right click on this Xenia Canary config file, and you must open it with Notepad or some other program like that. I'm using Notepad++. The only difference between Notepad++ and Notepad is that it at least gives you line numbers. So if I just open it up in Notepad, you will see the difference. Open with over here, Notepad. You'll see it just looks like this, so it's a little bit more difficult to keep track of things. And what you'll do is Control F to bring up the find and look for your VSync. Click Find Next. And over here, VSync. So once you'll see it set to true, set it to false, so it can go at whatever frame rate that your computer can handle, instead of it locking it at 30. Because remember, this is the old game; it was set to 30. And the next thing we want to do is set. I can't remember what it is. Let me just scroll a little bit. Over here, draw resolution. So if you want to go and find it, it'll just be draw _ res. Here we go. Right? These two. So yeah, these are just explanations of what all these things do. So these are for higher end computers and GPUs, right? You can set it to 3. You can set it to 3. I haven't. I set mine to 2. I'm still doing testing. But even with the low-end machines, set it to 2 and then just have a look. And then once you set those two as well as the VSync, click Save there on top, and we can close this. That's all you need to do. The other thing you need is obviously your ROM. So because of YouTube, I can't tell you where that ROM is, right? So, oops, did I just make a mistake and open this tab? Let me just close that tab. I apologize for showing you that tab. That's speaking about ROMs and where to find it. That link could have. I think I'm going to blur it. I must remember to blur it. Anyway, moving on. So once you have your ROM, you can actually play the game now. But before we play the game, let's just go to the low-end machines and explain what you have to do there. You have to do kind of the same thing, right? All you have to do is start Xenia. You'll see this black window open up and you close it again. But you'll see only a log will come here, right? But that's because the file that we need to change now goes in My Documents and look for the Xenia folder that was just created. You click into that. Now, because I've already installed it, this is probably changed already, but you do the same thing. You look for draw distance first, and you can set it to 2 or leave it at 1. That's fine. And VSync. Fine, next. And you can set VSync to true. Oh, there might be one thing I've missed. In your config file for the low-end machines, just type in patches, find next, and make sure that apply patches is equal to true. Mine came out as true, like when I downloaded it, but yours might be false. Change that to true, otherwise your patches won't be loaded when you start the game. Alright, and then you click save. Now for the patches, you'll see you got a patches folder with the zip, right? Now, your patches won't work in this folder. You'll have to cut it out. So we'll just cut it or copy it, and we'll paste it into the My Documents Xenia folder that we just have, right? So we click paste, and we'll replace the files. Yes, okay. You won't have a replace anything because there won't be a patches in this folder, and we'll go into it. And whatever ROM you have, you'll have to look for the version of that game. These are the different patches for those different games. So we'll just scroll all the way down to Red Dead. What we have is the Game of the Year edition, right? If I go to my downloads, because I haven't moved it yet, you'll see over here, it says Game of the Year edition, RF, DVD. Usually the name is also the same as the name that I put for the patch, but these are the same, right? So this is for disc 1 and disc 2. Remember, there are 2 discs wherever you download your ROM from. And remember, you must have owned the game before, and then it's legal. Well, in some countries. We'll have to right-click and open up with Notepad or Notepad++. And here's all your patches. You see here's patch 1, here's patch 2, and they explain what it is to unlock the frame rate. This has a false. You can set that to true. Now, I don't think this does much, since in the config file of Xenia, it's already set to true. Unless the VSync target is 50, or I don't know. I just set it to true. And as you can see, disable depth of field and motion blur. We can set that to true. If you leave it to false, so you can swap and change and actually test out what works for you and where you can kind of keep some effects or lose other effects. 16 anatrophic filtering. This you can also add to the game or set it to false. Yeah, you can play in 360 mode. These are all to help you with your frame rates. And remember, this older version is not as good. The low-end version of Canary is not as good as the high-end version of Xenia Canary. They had a huge update where the game is running at 60. You can disable sun flares. I think the thing that will help the most for machines is the no trees performance. So we can set that to true. This will remove all the trees and I think shrubbery and things, but this helps a lot. So, and you can just go and have a look, disable shadows, everything like that. So we'll just click on save this. I click Control and S, but you just click on that little stiffy over there. And we'll close this. So now that everything is set, we can actually play the game. So let's go to our Xenia folder again. Just in games, games, mods, Xenia 2. Let's go to the high-end version and we'll open it up. Now over here, you'll have to go and get your ROM. So you'll just click on open and you'll just click on this ROM and click open. But before we do that, I just want to show the different things. To toggle full screen, it's F11, and the post-processing, which is what I'm going to talk about, is F6. And there's other things here that I haven't messed with yet. So we'll just go to open, and we click on Red Dead Redemption, click open again, and the game will start up. And we'll just click F11, makes it full screen. By the way, you can also skip this intro in the patch. In the patches file, there's a skip intro, which will skip that. So we'll click start. We'll click normal. And it's asking to save this game as save functionality and everything. So we'll just create a save. Continue. And there the game started. Now you can complete or finish this game and actually see John Marston's story. It's funny that in Red Dead 2, you start the game by saving John Marston because he's injured, and in this one, the game starts from him being injured. It's quite poetic. Anyway, let's just click A to, or I'm using the controller. Hit A. to skip that. And here we go, here we're in game. This is the high-end version, remember? So, everything works, and all you have to do, we just hit escape to make the screen small again, and you can just close by hitting the X. So that all works, and you'll see a couple of new files like caches and content. This is for your save. You see your saved file that goes there. So let's go to the low-end machine or version. We'll click on Xenia. It's the same thing, and click open. Got our Red Dead. I remember we removed the trees and everything. Hit F11. And there we go. You see the trees all gone. Game's running. And we'll see. Now the game is obviously a little bit uglier because you removed all the trees and things like that. But I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? And if I had my old potato of a machine, I would have played this game with no trees just so that I could complete it. This version of Canary is an older build where they didn't make that big FPS improvement where it went from 30, 40 to like 60. So, you know, it's not just your PC that might make this game run at like 30 or 40. It's the build itself, but at least this build has patches. Now when you're in game, all you have to do is press the F6 key, and then you'll bring up the post-processing section, which is this section over here. And when you start, it'll be all none like this. These are just the different settings for the anti-aliasing. I think the second choice is a little bit too soft. So I normally take number 3. The best way you can actually see is with grass. So let's just go find some grass. Grass and trees and shrubbery. Okay, so you can just play around with this. As you can see, it's a little bit too soft for me, so I like to put it to the first option. And then when it comes to the resampling, put it on the third one, and then you get options for both. So if you read here, the sharpness is the reduction when you were upscaling, which is what we've done for this one. For lower end machines, if you're not upscaling, then you should use this one, which is for not upscaling. That's why I set this one to 0. I've seen some guides say that you set both all the way up, but it's to your liking. And if I bring it all the way down, as you can see, it's super sharp now, and all the way up, it's much softer. So I like to put it somewhere close to the middle. And then this also makes it a little bit softer, and which is what I don't like, and I don't need it. So that's my setting for this. And one last thing, I've also got Reshade on this. Just install Reshade, the latest Reshade, with DirectX 10, 11, 12, and you do the normal thing with the Reshade. You just copy over my preset, and this is what my preset looks like. I'll show you a comparison after this this section of the video, and then you can decide if you want to use it or not. It's on my Discord. It's free as usual, like everything else. Anyway, that is this guide to Canary for both versions or both systems, low and high. And if you like this video and it helped you out, maybe giving it a like will be appreciated, and maybe subscribe to the channel and get more things like this and reshades. Anyway, cheers. Bye-bye.
Mr. Marston, back in the land of the living, I see.
Figured it's about time I started paying back that $15.
Well, no time to waste. The horses are saddled up over here.